Okay, so for week 3 of fall anime, very cool week. Dan to Dan. Oh my god, episode 4 went crazy. One of the best episodes, music wise, action wise. What the hell is happening in this anime? Bleach was like really cool. You just like felt really scared, real tension as everyone's dying and fighting. Orb is amazing. And some other shows finished up. ReZero kind of like escalating. Uzumaki ended up, so I'm gonna talk about that. It finished up last week. Yeah, 4 episodes. Very mixed. Definitely. Also, the One Piece fan letter finished up last week as well. Didn't talk about it, but I'm not really a One Piece anime watcher, but this episode was like really nice. So I'll kind of briefly mention it here as well. So yeah, let's get started. Starting with Dan to Dan. So we have episode 4. This is the best episode of anime I've seen this season. Bleach is like really good as well, but oh my god, episode 4 like popped off like no other. Like the music, like the fucking orchestral classical music was so good, and then the Can song. Oh my god, the director really cooked for this episode. So yeah, basically it's the fight with the Turbo Granny. It's happening already. We don't really have time for training missions. The Turbo Granny's out there trying to fight us. So yeah, we're gonna like visit her kind of tunnel. She's like a location bounded spirit, so they challenge her to a race. And basically, if they escape the town, that's like basically her territory. They can kind of weaken and kill her. So basically, they go into the tunnel, but yeah, Turbo Granny's way too overpowered. She just like beats up on Okurun and Momo so easily. And then they kind of like look like they get swallowed, like Momo gets swallowed, Okurun loses his power, but then he like sucks on her titty, which is very funny. It looks like a callback. Again, there's so many like little details in the story. But yeah, like the Turbo Granny, when she met us before, she's like, give me your dick and I'll let you suck my titty. So yeah, he's Okurun with no powers is just like biting her chest, her saggy chest. And then yeah, she kind of like loses control. She possesses Okurun. Momo kind of like breaks free and he controls the spirit basically. And now yeah, they kind of bested the Turbo Granny, but the problem is the location spirits comes in. It's this giant crab. So yeah, just like randomly shit just happens this episode. No explanation, no theme. Just like these two characters are just like fighting stuff. So yeah, they're running away from the crab. It looks like the crab is symbolic because a lot of people died in this tunnel. The crabs might be like a supernatural thing where like people turn into crabs to cross the river Styx, something like that. So yeah, this crab is symbolic. But yeah, they're fighting ghosts right now. They go into like a manga cafe. They go into like this hot spring thing. And then yeah, they boil the crab with the hot water, and then the muscles stiffen up. So they use some science there. It seems like it reminds me a lot of like a JoJo fight. Anyway, more shit just happens. So Turbo Granny like uses her power to resurrect the undead, and now we're just like getting chased by a shit ton of zombies. Okuruni's kind of going all out again, so he's like running away from them super speed. Momo like helping them fly, using her powers like Spider-Man, traversing through the city. It was so cool. The music, insanely good. Like the animation, the colors, the music, everything enhanced this scene so much. And then yeah, seeing them run away from the crab, fight the granny was so good. But yeah, there's still more to the fight because yeah, Turbo Granny and the crab kind of catch up to them. They're kind of like out of energy, but then Momo kind of grabs onto an oncoming train. Trains kind of run faster than the Turbo Granny, and then they take the train outside of the town, and now they're in Momo's grandmother's territory. So she kind of like sets up the like anti-curse ward, which like kills all the ghosts. Okurun got his dick back. He's not possessed anymore, and now their friendship kind of continues. They celebrate by eating crab for dinner. They kind of like notice that the crab spirit is kind of tied to like a lot of like missing girls, so that's the reason why the Turbo Granny kind of merged with it. Like the Turbo Granny was like, kind of concerned for them, so it looks like the Turbo Granny was like low-key kind of like a good spirit, but I mean, since she's a ghost, she like attacks people, so she's evil. So yeah, kind of like a complex character there. But besides that, everyone's like chilling, eating food, hanging out at Momo's house. We see Okurun has a spiky hair. He's kind of like more confident now talking to everybody. And then yeah, the grandmother also wants to confirm that his dick is back, so she has to see it. He does not want to do that. So yeah, I mean, smart by him. He kind of runs away. And then him and Momo kind of tell each other goodbye at the end of the episode. And they're like, goodbye, sayonara. That has a sense of finality to it. Then Momo kind of like shows up while Okurun was about to leave, and she's like, I'll see you tomorrow, which is very nice because yeah, I mean, they go to the same school, so it does look like their friendship will continue to bolster. We're only 4 episodes deep, but we saved Okurun, so it's going to be definitely more different things happening, I guess. We just got to see, but yeah, insanely good episode. Also, after that, we have Bleach, The 1,000-Year Blood War, Part 3, Episode 4. Great episode. So yeah, more tension here as we see Ukitake. He kind of sacrificed himself. He was like the possession of Mimi Hagi-sama, the Soul King's right hand. to basically kind of power up the Soul King. So now you'll watch us trying to stop this, but yeah, everyone's trying to fight back against you'll watch and stop them. So yeah, it's basically kind of more fights back and forth, but it looks like you'll watch his Stern Raider team, the kind of like elite guard, they're back here along with Ishida. So yeah, Ichigo kind of fights with Ishida, insanely good fight as all the other Stern Raiders come in. We see Yoruichi kind of getting crushed by the Stern Ritter that, like, you know, compresses things. So that was kind of brutal. I was assuming that Orihime would just, like, instantly heal her, but she kind of falls down to Royal Palace platform. So, yeah, I don't know where she is. Hopefully she's okay. But, yeah, like, everyone else is kind of fighting. It's really funny because they're really outmatched by the Stern Ritters. I doubt anyone from Ichigo's party can really beat him besides Ichigo himself. Maybe Orihime, she has a chance, but she doesn't really use offense too much. So, yeah, we gotta see. It's just pretty much Gancho and Chad trying to do their best. But the main part of this episode, the fight with Ichigo and Ishida was so good. Like, Ichigo's like significantly stronger, we've seen, but Ishida does have his own power-ups. I think he's not evil though. He's probably acting like he's just doing this to prove himself to the Quincy's. I'm still on that cope. He has this like kind of German Quincy form called like Vostendi. And then, yeah, he's just, like, flying, has, like, a billion arrows around him and wings. Starts, like, fighting Ichigo. It looks like Ichigo does have, like, some type of, like, literal plot armor where he has, like, a barrier against these Quincy shots, some of them. So, yeah, that's kind of, like, unexplained so far. But, yeah, besides that, Ichigo's kind of spamming Getsuga. I don't know why he's doing that. He's just holding himself back because he doesn't want to kill anyone. We kind of already know this. Like, you know, any kind of, like, shonen protagonist, they don't want to kill people, even the final villain. So, yeah, Ishida's calling him stupid and naive to, like, kind of think that way and not fighting to kill. And, yeah, basically, they have, like, this kind of, like, Dragon Ball Z beam power up. Ichigo kind of like does this like giant X, Getsuga like slash. Ishida shoots like this giant Quincy arrow, and then Ichigo slash kind of overpowered Ishida, but he missed. So yeah, I mean, they're like kind of hammering this point home. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to kill his friends. He wants to like save everybody. You watch pretty much like, you know, killed the Soul King. It looks like he's on his last legs, and all the other Stern Raiders are still standing on top. So yeah, we don't know what's gonna happen next, but you know, you could probably assume some things. Like Orihime's probably gonna heal everybody. Aizen's probably gonna show up eventually. If he shows up next episode, I'm literally gonna like scream. So yeah, I mean, that would be hype. But yeah, besides that, you know, solid episodes, good fights all around. Like, you know, 3 seasons in, still high quality. So yeah, nothing has gone down. The story has been enhanced. So yeah, just like feels really nice seeing like this like kind of insane final arc. Also after that, we have ReZero season 3 episode 4. So we kind of ended up the fight last week with all the archbishops. It kind of went badly, but yeah, there's still like more stuff going on in the city. Garfield's kind of hanging out with Mimi. They're kind of like looking for his mom's like lost children, but they kind of get interrupted by these two kind of like shadowy people. They're wearing like black KKK robes basically. And then they have like 2 giant swords, and their swords seem to be like really strong. I don't know who these NPCs are, but they seem to be overpowered. It seems like every character is like vastly overpowered compared to everyone else. They have like some secret magic. Like apparently if you get cut by the sword, then your wound never heals. So it looks like Mimi got like cut by the sword as they're trying to run away. And Garfield feels really guilty kind of like getting her involved. So yeah, she's like bandaged up, but still knocked out. And you know, stuff is still getting dire. We see everyone else, all the princesses and everyone else second fight kind of like making up a plan, and they're basically trying to like, you know, rescue whoever they can, stop the archbishops, but then they directly get called out by Lust. So yeah, they're not done attacking. Lust kind of shows up and just like demands the witch's remains because yeah, that's what they want. And then she's like, if you don't give me, then I've taken hostages in the towers and I'm gonna kill them if you don't show up. So she's kind of baiting them. Subaru's team does realize that like the witch's remains, they can't really give it away because if they do, the whole city would get like drowned and crushed. So yeah, the magic power displacement, if you like remove her, will just like flood the whole city. And it looks like this witch is Typhon. We kind of see her body. So yeah, it's obviously not Satella. I think like people were thinking it was Satella because that was like the only kind of named witch we've actually seen in the real world. But yeah, it's Typhon's remains. We saw her in Echidna's tea party that one time in season 2. But yeah, basically Subaru's working with everyone. Garfield, he kind of feels like, you know, guilt and traumatized because, you know, he has also kind of telling him how he would like die and he would lose, and now like he let Mimi down and now she's injured. But yeah, everyone else, they kind of like go in, they see Lust, she's like a giant dragon. She seems kind of strong, but then they kind of like do a team up attack. Subaru has like his bad leg, but then they like blast her face off. Also, it's kind of interesting that the Archbishop of Lust is like this like giant dragon that speaks in this cutesy girl voice. So I'm assuming they have like a humanoid form, maybe not. But yeah, they quickly fight off the dragon. Lust kind of like retreats. So surprisingly, you know, things are still going well. But then once they're in one of the towers, they meet up with Gluttony. Yes, the Archbishop of Gluttony. Like, this dude is very dangerous because, yeah, if he eats you, like, it's just over for you. And then Subaru is still angry at him for erasing Rem. So, I mean, he'll probably have tunnel vision trying to kill him. It's really surprising because, like, you know, instead of any of this happening, the whole squad kind of, like, seriously injured. Their numbers are diminished. Amelia kidnapped. Why doesn't Subaru just die? He has not died this episode. I'm assuming he'll die next episode because stuff is kind of going wrong, but I assume like that's just too easy. He won't die. We'll kind of continue the story. Also, at the end of this episode, something like tragic happens. Amelia wakes up in Regulus's bedroom and she's naked. And then Regulus kind of like asks her if she's a virgin. So she kind of has no idea who he is. The episode ends there very ominous. I don't know what answer she's going to give. Obviously, it's yes, but bro, this dude sucks. We got to save Amelia, I guess. I don't know. Like maybe she's just a prisoner here for now. But yeah, like a lot of stuff going on, you know, like who knows what's gonna happen. Things just keep going like on and on very fast. It's like so many overpowered characters. Also, funnily enough, we do see Reinhardt in this episode. He's kind of like talking to his dad, who's like kind of kidnapped Felt. But it's just like really weird. It's like his dad's kind of egging him on to like do the right thing or whatever. But yeah, bro, we need you to fight the Archbishops. Where your ass at? I don't know what he's doing, but we need him. And yeah, that's it for ReZero. We'll see what's gonna happen next week. Yeah, that's it for the main big shows this week. I'll talk about some more. But before that, I'll talk about some like quick wrap-ups. Uzumaki finished up 4-episode Junji Ito classic. Very promising for the first episode. It's October. Halloween is literally right here, but episode 2 was so bad. Episode 3 and 4, if you didn't see them, if you dropped it, it kind of didn't look as bad as episode 2. Episode 2 was like the low point, but it was still like very tragic and choppy. But like I still think the story was depicted fine. If you're a manga purist, you probably like don't think it's adapted at all. Like everyone's saying like his works are literally unadaptable, but I thought like body horror, people transforming into monsters, people cutting their like little fingernails off, like that shit was creepy. Like it was good, and then the whole story kind of like continues now, which is like more creepy shit. So it's just like building up upon this town, turning into spirals, and it just keeps escalating. So I thought it was well done in that sense. But yeah, the fact that they had to change studios and the whole kind of production in the back end, and the fact that it took 5 years to only get 4 episodes, yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of it because of like the kind of negativity there. But besides that, you know, watching it for what it is, it's still fine. The 4th episode was like definitely decent because we just got like the sense of finality, as like people are like, yo, why don't you just leave the village? You literally can't. You're just like trapped in the spiral. Pretty much at the end, our main 2 characters, Shuichi and Kyrie, try to like escape. They can't. They like go up the mountains, and a lot of time basically passes, like literally years, and then the whole town turns into like a giant spiral with all these houses. There's pretty much no one left alive. They're all just like spiral monsters. And then there they kind of discover the mystery of everything, where the town's like built upon this like, you know, ancient shrine that like every 100 years just like starts this like spiral ritual. So yeah, we see at the end of this episode, after the explanation, just like new characters coming into this town. So yeah, they'll probably experience the spiral stuff as well. So yeah, great horror story, but yeah, the anime definitely did not do it justice. Also after that, we have the One Piece fan letters. So I'll quickly talk about this. Like I'm not really a big One Piece watcher. I do read it, but I'm not even like remotely up to date. But basically this is kind of like post time skip where we see the Straw Hat Pirates are kind of like visiting this like island, and then yeah, there's like a lot of people kind of like looking for them, attacking them. The Marines are there, and then yeah, they're just like kind of partying. They're like very famous, so yeah, that's cool. We see this story kind of like focuses on like a fan of Nami, so she's like this little girl that wants to send her a letter. So yeah, she's the one writing the fan letter, but she has to kind of like find the Straw Hat Pirates and then navigate through this like crowded city, while like someone from the Marines also like kind of picked up her letter on accident. So she's doing all of that. It's very funny, kind of like a good, well animated, just like, you know, short story. So yeah, definitely like a decent watch. That's pretty much all I have to say for it. You know, like One Piece, it's on hiatus, so I guess the fan letter kind of like a surprising drop here. Also after that, we have Orb about the movement of Earth. So yes, episode 5, crazy good episode. The lighting in this anime is amazing, just like showcasing when it's really dark, they're like up in the mountains, you see like a sense of despair, but then you get like the stars kind of shining on you and it feels like a lot better. So yeah, just like the whole environment feels like very well done. All the characters look super serious, so you can feel like the desperation on them. But basically in this episode, our 2 bodyguards who are escorting the heretic, they kind of get like entranced by his words, and then they want to follow him. They want to like see what's up on a mountain, see like the truth of the world, like the beauty, and then maybe understand like if the church is like lying to them or not. So they kind of just like steal the carriage and try to run away. But yeah, the main villain, the hunter Noak, he just like shoots them down. He shoots down the horse. He kind of like tries to stab the main dude, but then he gets like rescued by everyone else. So the heretic kind of blocks the sword. He runs away. Noak tries to like throw a sword at him, but it gets deflected by the other bodyguard. And then, yeah, they kind of like go up the mountains. They see like the hidden chest with like all this information in it. And then it's kind of pointless because they can't read. So it's like written in Latin. They can't really understand like the meaning of it. So then like they're thinking, okay, we could either give up Or we can kind of like take this knowledge to someone that like knows how to decipher it. Maybe it'll be important for the future. Maybe the destiny, the legacy, like relies on us. But the main dude is kind of scared. Like he's a bit autistic, which I do like. Like I'm pretty sure he's like neurodivergent, but you know, I can't really confirm. But yeah, he's just like scared of the stars. He can't really look up at the sky. He has trauma there. And then he doesn't really see a point of looking up in the world. He thinks his only salvation is heaven. But now it looks like it'll be a good character moment for him where he'll discover the beauty of this world. He'll kind of spread the knowledge. It looks like he found this really smart priest called Badini, who's also like a former heretic. So this dude kind of looks badass. He has like an eye patch and some scars, and it looks like our main dude's gonna talk to him about astronomy. So yeah, we'll see like how things go. It's kind of tense right now, but you can feel that like, you know, there's still gonna be progress happening. If this is like a kind of historical anime, then we can't just like, you know, leave our journey off on a dead end. We have to continue the research. These characters, even if they live or die, their idea will survive, and yeah, we'll see where the anime kind of goes from there. Also after that, we have some cute kind of like magic anime. So my first one, I love it a lot. Yeah, the story of girls who couldn't be magicians. The story is so good. I love like the witch theme. It's like very classic feeling, but also like the story is so well done. Anime looks so pretty, and you know, there's like this mysterious kind of like ominous like setup in the back where there's like two factions of magic, where there's like the new school style of magic, which use like the technology in the notebooks, and then there's like the old school style that use the like hand-drawn glyphs. So basically in this world, everyone can use magic, but that idea was kind of lost because like the new form of thinking just like made it so certain people with the notebooks can use magic. But yeah, as long as you know how to draw the glyphs, you can use it. So yeah, Kurumi kind of like realizes this. Like they kind of have a assignment in class where Suzuki kind of tells everyone to like farm up potatoes and boil them. So yeah, like it kind of like helps their understanding of nature, because yeah, like the magic element comes from nature, comes from life. But the problem is no one knows how to make the fire glyph. They can't cook it with no fire. So yeah, Kurumi like realizes her grandma taught her a lot of these like kind of magic glyphs as like protection charms. So it's kind of like a good shortcut for her because she already has the basis of like magical drawing like since she was a kid, but now she has to kind of like apply that in the real world. So yeah, Suzuki's kind of like looking out for her. Their magic training goes on, and now they're like really close to kind of like, you know, being witches. But yeah, there's still some problems here because it looks like this old style of ancient magic is like illegal now, so you couldn't get in trouble for trying to use it. So that's good. You know, stories forming, we get like more characters learning magic, and you know, stuff is going on to school, right? No problem. But yeah, at the end of this episode, there's like a big shift happening. The teacher leaves the school. She kind of like says farewell to Kurumi and her friends. She leaves her frog behind and is like, you might not see me anymore. That's very ominous. Kind of reminds me of anime where the teacher, like the really strong person that's like really too good for the world, pretty much sacrifices themselves or dies like early on. That's what it feels like. I hope Suzuki doesn't die, but it kind of feels like she's gonna do her own thing. We might see her later, we might hear from her later. It definitely doesn't feel good seeing her leave. Also, we have Magical Mirror Magical Girls Inc. This is kind of like a similar power scheme with the girls that couldn't be magicians anime, where like the magic is kind of like technology based, where like most of the magical girls kind of don't really care about property damage. There's already insurance for that, so they just like use their strong spells, blow everything away. But in this kind of like historical shopping district, they kind of want to preserve the architecture and stuff, so they invent a new spell. So yeah, they have one of the coders like create this like kind of basis of a spell that can like safely radiate and eliminate the enemies through the sewers. I like how it's like kind of showing that these are the good magical girls. They're not really corporate anymore, they're a startup and they're trying to like do good in the world. It's a cute wholesome story. There's some action here as the magical girls are fighting, so it's pretty relatable, I guess, if you like compare it to the working world. But yeah, I've been having fun watching this magical girl show. And yeah, besides that, that's it for the anime this week. Thank you for watching. Kind of like a quick week, but yeah, I've been keeping up with a lot of shows. But yeah, gotta catch up with some more. And then Dan to Dan continues to be insanely good, so I highly recommend that one every week. And yeah, besides that, thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.